If you watch this video back later and you're wondering why it's on a funny angle, it's because the videos that I'm posting when I film the whole class, it's got students' voices in it. They're not made public to everybody. They're only public to they're only visible to the people who have the link. And I'll put the link on Google Classroom. So in Google Classroom, if you go to classwork, quadratics, there's activity there that says lesson slides and notes, lesson notes and videos. I posted in there. Okay, so what I'm hoping that you recognized is when you expanded these brackets, if you did it the long way, that's fine, but I'm hoping that some of you remember that there was a shortcut for expanding these brackets. We talked about it in our previous lesson. When we have the same terms in both the first and second part of the bracket, except one of them's a plus and one of them's the minus, the shortcut for this is I can just go x times x is x squared, and 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. This only works because they are the same terms and one has a plus, one has a minus. All right? So for that second bracket, 2y plus 7, 2y minus 7, I'm hoping that you got the shortcut and you just got 4y squared minus 49. If you didn't use the shortcut, that's fine. But remember, we talked about trying to be as efficient as possible. So if you can develop those shortcuts, a bonus. What this leads us to is our technique for when we factorise expressions like a squared minus 64. So if we want to factorise this, what I want you to notice is that this is very similar to that. Can you tell me more specifically, when I say it's similar, what is similar? Hands up. What is actually similar? Mr. Boot says it's similar. What does he mean? What's he talking about? What parts are similar? Angus.
It's like, it's got like a squared number, but not like a letter at the start, and then it goes to like a number.
Right. Do you notice anything about that number? It's also a square number. So this is a square number and this is a square number. So both terms are square numbers. What else do you notice? In both cases, there's actually one other thing that's really important. They're all takeaway. That's exactly it. All right, so the other thing that's important is this takeaway sign. I'll circle it in pink. What's another word for takeaway? Subtract. What's another word other than minus? Difference. So when we are studying the difference of perfect squares, we use this technique when we have the difference of square numbers. Okay, so this is our factorising technique when we have the difference of square numbers. So how do I recognise it? I've got two terms that are squares and there's a minus sign between them. All right? When I want to factorise this, it's really simple. I start by just creating two brackets. Dylan, don't whistle. I start by creating two brackets. I'm going to put a plus sign in one of them, minus sign in the other. I am then going to take the square root of the first term. What's the square root of a squared? And I'm going to take the square root of the second term. What's the square root of 64? So that is factorised. All right. If I have 4a squared minus 25b squared, it is the difference of two squares. So I'm going to draw two brackets. I'm going to put a plus and a minus. I'm going to take the square root of the first term. What's the square root of 4a squared?
2a.
And it goes in the first position in each bracket. And then I take the square root of 25b squared. It goes in the second position. in each bracket. So we come up with this technique which is called the difference of perfect squares. We use it for factorising when it looks like this. Here are, now before you jump onto the examples, I'm going to look at a couple of extra problems here that maybe look a bit trickier. So don't just jump ahead and do them yourself. Can you please listen to the examples first? I'm not going to do this one because that's basically what we just did. All right? But let's look at something that is a little bit different. If I have to factorise 4x squared minus 17, is it a difference of 2 squares? Not quite. Why not? 17's not a square number. 17 is a prime number. But we're going to factorise this exactly the same way. Because we've got 2 terms, and at least one of them's a square, all right, we're going to factorise this using the difference of 2 squares method. How do I do it? I start with 2 brackets. Plus minus. I take the square root of the first term. What is the square root of 4x squared? It is 2x. That goes in the first position in each bracket. Then I take the square root of the second number. Do we know what the square root of 17 is? We don't know what it is, but we learnt to write numbers as surds earlier in the year. So we're going to leave them exactly like that. All right? And that's factorised. So this is an exact factorised expression. Example 3. Before you jump ahead and do the next part, does this look exactly like the one that we have already done? No. How come? It's got the bracket. Again though, I want you to recognise this as the difference. So the difference, it's a minus between 2 terms here. First term, second term. It is the difference between 2 squared terms. How do we factorise a difference of 2 squares? We create 2 brackets. We put a plus in one, minus in the other. And just for the record, if it was this way around, that's also fine. But out of habit, I'm just going to leave the plus and the minus. If I do it the same way every time, I'm more likely to remember how to do it. I take the square root of the first term. What's the square root of x plus 2 squared? X plus 2. I take the square root of the second term. What's the square root of 16? Just 4. All right, now, I can do some simplifying here. I don't need these brackets. They're not actually achieving anything for me. All right, so x plus 2 plus 4. X plus 2 minus 4. Now I'm fully factorised. All right, so what I'd like you to do, I would like you to show me that you have completed these 3 questions in your book, and then you're going to have a go at the exercise. All right? So, show me you've done those 3, you've got them correct, then exercise. All right, I'll stop the video.